Commanders Nation, get ready because this is a bomb. Adam Peters is about to make the move that will define the Jayden Daniels era. Brandon AYIUK or Stefon Diggs. One of them is landing in Ashburn, and I'm going to break down why Peters' choice is key for the future of our offense, and why, even though one seems obvious, the other could be the masterstroke nobody sees coming. But hold up, because while Peters is making his moves, David Blau is cooking up an offense that promises to be absolutely insane. But I'm gonna tell you if it's tactical genius or just OTA smoke that'll fizzle out by week 3. And to top it all off, we're gonna dissect the whopping $165 million that Peters just dropped on our defense. Is it the impenetrable wall we need, or a risky bet that could blow up in our face? This is Fire, Burgundy, and Gold. Let's get into it. Okay. I need you to take a deep breath because what's happening with the wide receiver position in Washington is heart-stopping. We've got Brandon AYIUK, the guy who wore a Commander's hat on social media, sending signals clearer than a sunny day in the DMV. And on the other hand, Stefon Diggs, the veteran who, according to rumors, also has us in his sights. The question isn't whether we need a WR1 fam. The question is, which of these two monsters is the right fit for Jayden Daniels and David Blau's offense? This isn't a whim, bro. It's an urgent tactical necessity if we want Jayden Daniels to explode to his full potential in his rookie year. Let's keep it a buck. Brandon AYIUK. This guy is a pure playmaker. His ability to create separation, his route running, his ability to catch passes in traffic, it's elite. And most importantly, he has a pre-existing connection with Jayden Daniels from their college days. That chemistry, bro, you can't buy that on the market. That chemistry is built with years of reps and trust. If AYIUK arrives, Jayden Daniels would have a guy next to him who understands his reads, who knows where the ball is going to be before it leaves his hands. Tactics, man. Imagine the spacing AYIUK can create. His ability to stretch the field vertically and his agility to gain yards after the catch, what we call AYIUK, is brutal. That opens up the game for Terry McLaurin, for Luke McCaffrey, for the tight ends. Suddenly, the defense can't double Terry because AYIUK is burning the cornerback on the other side. That's a cheat code for any offense. Let's think about David Blau's offensive philosophy. If he truly wants a flexible offense with innovative concepts, a receiver like AYIUK is fundamental. His versatility to play both outside and in the slot, his ability to run all kinds of routes, from quick slants to deep go routes, gives Blau a chess piece he can move all over the board. He's not just a receiver, he's a playmaker who forces defenses to make difficult decisions. His presence on the field automatically elevates the level of all other receivers. McLaurin, who is a WR1 in his own right, would benefit enormously from having another WR1 to take pressure off him. He could see more one-on-ones, more opportunities to dominate, and for a rookie QB like Jayden, having two receivers who can consistently win one-on-one is a luxury. It reduces the need for complex reads under pressure and allows Jayden to play more freely. But here comes the but. AYIUK is in the middle of a contract dispute with the 49ers. And even though he wore our hat, the 49ers aren't going to give him away. They want a package of picks that reflects his value. And Adam Peters, our GM, is a methodical guy. He's not going to overpay for anyone. The offer from an ESPN analyst that put him in a trade for a third-round pick, with all due respect, is an insult. AYIUK is worth much more than that. We're talking about a guy who can be a top 10 WR1 in the league. The 49ers know what they have, and Peters knows what he's worth. The negotiation will be tough, and I wouldn't be surprised if it extends into training camp or even beyond. Peters' patience is legendary, and he won't succumb to media pressure. Now, let's talk about Stefon Diggs. The guy is a proven veteran, 4-time Pro Bowler. He's been a dominant WR1 in multiple systems. His route running is among the best in the league, and his ability to win one-on-one is legendary. Diggs is a guy who demands defensive attention, and that in itself is a benefit to any offense. Plus, his playoff experience, his leadership, all of that is invaluable for a young team like ours. A veteran like Diggs could be an incredible mentor for Jayden Daniels, teaching him how to read defenses, how to adjust routes, how to handle pressure. His presence in the locker room could be a catalyst for the winning mentality Dan Quinn is trying to instill. But with Diggs, there's also a red flag: his age. He's in the twilight of his career, and while he's still productive, how many years of elite production does he have left? We're talking about a short-term contract, a win-now move. And then there's the drama. Diggs has had his moments in Buffalo and Houston. Is he the type of personality Dan Quinn and Adam Peters want in a locker room they're trying to build with a solid culture? Barry's Verluga from The Athletic, a respected analyst, leans towards DIGGS, arguing he's a safer bet in terms of recent performance. He says we should avoid AYIUK and give DIGGS a chance. And I get his point. DIGGS is available right now, without AYIUK's contract drama. He could be a cleaner acquisition in terms of picks. Perhaps a second round pick or even less, depending on how the market develops. My opinion, fam, and this is where I get a little crazy. If Adam Peters can get AYIUK without mortgaging the future, we gotta go for AYIUK. The age, the chemistry with Jaden, the long-term potential. It's a perfect fit. AYIUK is a guy who fits Jaden Daniels' window. He's a young player, in his prime, who can grow with our QB. DIGGS, while talented, is a short-term solution, and while short-term solutions are sometimes necessary, Peters has shown he's building something sustainable. But if the 49ers get stubborn, and the asking price for AYIUK is ridiculous, then DIGGS, despite his butts, is an option we can't ignore. He's not the same type of player, but he's a WR1, and Jaden Daniels needs a WR1. AYIUK's connection with Jaden Daniels makes his arrival almost inevitable when the 49ers finally cut ties. But it's not a sure thing. Washington has the money available for both, although this scenario would suggest a clear lack of confidence in the young talent vying for more involvement under offensive coordinator David Blau. It's tedious, annoying, and boring for fans, but everything points to one of them wearing a Washington uniform next season. Adam Peters isn't sentimental, he's a GM who maximizes asset value, and if AYIUK's value is too high, he won't hesitate to look for other options. This is a chess game, and Peters is playing the long game. He's not going to sacrifice the future for an immediate need, unless that immediate need is an absolute game changer. And a WR1, bro, is a game changer. The key here is the cost of acquisition. If AYIUK costs us a first-round pick and a massive contract, is it worth it? Probably yes, given his age and potential. If DIGGS costs us a second-round pick and a 2-year contract, is it worth it? Also, if the championship window opens faster than expected, Adam Peters has to weigh not only the talent, but also the long-term cap space impact and the locker room culture. My personal bet is that Peters will try until the last moment for AYIUK, and if it doesn't happen, he will explore other options, including DIGGS, but always with an eye on value. It's not about who is better in a vacuum, but about who is the best fit for the Commanders' long-term plan, and for me, that's AYIUK. Okay, bro. But wait, because what's coming next is even crazier. Speaking of offense, David Blau's arrival as offensive coordinator has been a plot twist nobody saw coming, from position assistant to OC with no prior play calling experience. That's a gamble, man. A bold gamble by Dan Quinn, which tells us a lot about his confidence in Blau and his vision for this offense. But according to OTA reports, Blau is impressing everyone with his innovative concepts and flexibility. The question is this the start of an offensive revolution or the typical preseason hype that deflates like a balloon by week 3? Dan Quinn, our head coach, made a drastic decision by cutting ties with Cliff Kingsbury. That tells us something. Quinn has a clear vision for this offense, and Blau apparently fits perfectly. Players are talking about more collaboration, especially with Jaden Daniels. That's key, fam. A young QB needs to feel part of the process, needs the scheme to adapt to his strengths. And Blau, being a former QB, understands that perfectly. He's not just a guy drawing plays on a whiteboard. He's someone who's been on the field, who's made decisions under pressure. That perspective is invaluable for a rookie QB. When we talk about innovative concepts and flexibility, what does that mean tactically? It means we're not going to be predictable. It means Blau is going to use the personnel we have in creative ways. Spacing, motion, play action, RPOs, all of that is going to be on the menu. The idea is to simplify reads for Jaden Daniels, give him quick and easy options, but at the same time, stress the defense with multiple threats. If Blau can achieve that, if he can create a system where Jaden Daniels feels comfortable and can use his athleticism and arm, then we're talking about an offense that can be explosive. Let's think about the basketball roster philosophy that Blau has mentioned for the receivers. This isn't just a nice phrase, it's a tactical mindset. It means he's not looking for just one type of receiver, but a variety of skills that complement each other. A guy who stretches the field, like Jalen Lane with his speed. A guy who wins in the slot, a guy who is a possession receiver. This allows Blau to create favorable matchups on every play. If he has a fast receiver against a slow linebacker, boom! If he has a big receiver against a small cornerback, boom! That flexibility is what makes an offense difficult to defend. They can't just shut down one player, they have to defend the entire field. Reports say Blau is detail-oriented and ready to maximize the weapons available. And we have weapons, man. Terry McLaurin, Luke McCaffrey, Treylon Burks, and if AYIUK or DIGGS arrives, forget about it. But the key is how Blau uses them. It's not just about having talent, it's about putting them in positions to win. And if Blau can do that, if he can bring out the best in Jayden Daniels and this group of receivers, then Dan Quinn will have made a masterful move. The collaboration with Jayden Daniels is crucial. If Jayden has a voice in the game plan, if he feels comfortable with the plays, that translates into confidence on the field. And confidence, especially for a rookie QB, is half the battle. But, and here comes my concern, zero play calling experience. Can Blau handle the pressure of the clock? Can he make the necessary adjustments in the middle of the game? Can he keep his cool when things get tough? It's a steep learning curve, and while OTA hype is great, the NFL is a different beast. Defensive coordinators in the league are geniuses, and they're going to study Blau relentlessly. They're going to try to confuse Jayden Daniels. They're going to try to force Blau to deviate from his plan. Will Blau have the ability to adapt on the fly? That's the big unknown. I personally am cautiously optimistic. I think Jayden Daniels has the talent to make any offensive coordinator look good. His athleticism, his ability to extend plays, his arm, all of that is a weapon in itself. And if Blau is as smart as they say, and if he's truly collaborating with Jayden, then this could be the start of something special. But let's not kid ourselves, it's a gamble. A gamble that, if it pays off, could catapult Blau into head coach conversations in a couple of years. That's what's at stake. The NFL is a results-driven business, and Blau has to produce. There's no time for long-term experiments. Jayden Daniels' window is just beginning, and the offense has to be ready to compete from day one. My gut tells me Blau is a smart guy, and Dan Quinn wouldn't hand him the reins if he didn't believe in him 100%. But the real test will be when the games count. And to close with a bang, or perhaps a table-thumping statement, let's talk defense, fam. Adam Peters, our GM, didn't mess around. $165.81 million invested in the defense for 2026. That's the 6th most expensive defense in the league. Gentlemen, Adam Peters has put his money where his mouth is. After a season where our defense was a sieve, where Joe Witt Jr. was fired, Peters said, no more. And he brought in Durante Jones as defensive coordinator and gave him a blank check to rebuild. Is this massive investment a guarantee of a top 10 defense? Or is it a risky gamble that could leave us without future flexibility if it doesn't pay off immediately? Let's break this down. The names are big. Darren Payne, $27.95 million. Javon Kinlaw, $16.2 million. Dorrance Armstrong Jr., $12.05 million. And then there's Odafe Owe with a 4-year, $90 million contract, $68 guaranteed. That's a serious commitment. Kelavon Chaisson, Amik Robertson, Leo Chenal, Nick Cross, the list goes on. And we can't forget Sonny Styles, our number 7 draft pick, a linebacker who promises to be a cornerstone of the franchise. Peters has prioritized the front 7, and that's smart. A good defensive line that pressures the QB and stops the run makes the secondary's job much easier. Durante Jones, with his innovative and aggressive concepts, has the pieces to build a dominant defense. Imagine the pressure we can generate with Owe, Armstrong, Payne, and Kinlaw. That's going to be a headache for any offensive line, and if the pressure gets there, quarterbacks are going to have to release the ball quickly, which makes the job of our corners and safeties easier. The ability to generate pressure with just 4 men, 4-man rush, is the holy grail of any defense. If we can do that, we can leave more players in coverage, which makes the job of opposing quarterbacks extremely difficult. Let's think about Durante Jones's philosophy. If it's innovative and aggressive, that means blitzes, it means disguise in coverage, it means he's going to try to confuse the opposing QB. But for that to work, you need players who can execute those complex calls, and Peters has given Jones the talent to do it. Odafe Owe and Dorrance Armstrong Jr. are edge rushers with the ability to generate sacks. Darren Payne and Javon Kinlaw are disruptors on the interior. Leo Chenal is an athletic linebacker who can cover and blitz. Sonny Styles, with his versatility, can be a secret weapon in multiple roles. But here's the other side of the coin. $165 million is a lot of money, and with a lot of money come a lot of expectations. If this defense isn't among the best in the league, if we're not able to stop the run and pressure the QB consistently, then this investment will be seen as a failure. There's nowhere to hide for Adam Peters. He himself said he had no other choice. He had to spend to fix the defense. Last season, our defense was a disgrace. We couldn't stop anyone, and that's not a foundation for building a winning team. My concern, if I have to be honest, is cohesion. There are a lot of new pieces. How long will it take all these players with a new defensive coordinator to learn the system and play as a unit? Defensive chemistry is crucial. It's not just individual talent, it's how they complement each other. The defensive backs have to trust that the front seven is going to generate pressure, and the front seven has to trust that the defensive backs are going to maintain coverage long enough. That synchronization isn't built overnight. OTAs and training camp will be crucial for these players to get to know each other and learn to play together. Furthermore, we have to consider the risk of injuries. With so many big contracts, an injury to a key player could have a devastating impact on the cap space and the team's performance. Peters has maintained some financial flexibility, which is smart, but the commitment is undeniable. The pressure is on Durante Jones to make these pieces fit and produce immediate results. There are no excuses. The talent is there. The money is there. Now it's a matter of execution. If this defense clicks, if Durante Jones can maximize the talent Peters has given him, then we're going to have a defense that's going to terrorize the NFC East. And that, combined with an explosive offense led by Jaden Daniels, is the recipe for success. Every cent has to be worth it, and I personally think Peters has done the right thing. It was necessary. And now it's time to see if the players can live up to the expectations. The NFC East is a tough division with powerful offenses. We need a defense that can compete with the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Giants. And this investment is Adam Peters' statement of intent. We're not going to be an easy team to beat. We're going to be a team that hits. Oof, fam, that's all I've got for you today. And look, I know it's a lot of information, but it's the information that has us on the edge of our seats. The possibility of a WR1 like AYIUK or DIGGS coming to Washington, the promise of an innovative offense with David Blau, and the massive investment in a defense that has to be elite. This is what it means to be a Commanders fan in 2026. There are reasons for the hype, there are reasons for caution, but above all, there are reasons to believe. This franchise has 90 years of history. It has the Hogs, it has Joe Gibbs, it has Darrell Green. It has the legacy of Bobby Mitchell, and now it has Jaden Daniels, Adam Peters, and Dan Quinn building the future. The road won't be easy, but the passion of the Burgundy and Gold Nation is unbreakable. Raise hail! If this video gave you something, if it made you think, if it ignited your hype, hit that like button, subscribe, and tell me down in the comments, AYIUK or DIGGS, who's the WR1 Jaden Daniels needs? And do you think Peters' defense will live up to the $165 million? I want to read every single response. See you in the next one.